Hear ye, and welcome to the Royal Geek Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Rollison, also known as T-Roll, and I'm joined, you already know it, by my good friends, Justin Sandoval, a.k.a. Sandy, and of course the one and only Anthony Amato, who we like to call Shamato. Boys, I'm excited to be here on the pod with y'all. We're talking some Secret Invasion, but before we do that, how you guys doing?
Yeah, man. It's a great day. A little stormy day.
It was stormy
yeah.
today.
Yes.
I lost power
Yeah, for a while.
for more than 6 hours.
So much so where we don't even have video today.
No video.
Yeah.
Nope. But that's okay.
It is what it is.
Yep.
Chances are it doesn't matter for much of our listeners. So that's
Yeah,
okay.
there you go.
Amato, how are you,
Our
man?
appearance is currently a secret.
That's it.
For now.
Yeah, I'm
But yeah.
doing all right. You know, had some car troubles earlier today.
Oh,
Hopefully,
yeah.
getting them fixed up. So
Gosh,
we'll
yeah,
see.
it's just been a crazy day, to be honest.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? But we're making the pod happen for the people,
Yep.
There you go.
for humans and scrolls alike.
All you million scrolls, right?
Yep.
A million scrolls.
Million scrolls strong.
Spoiler alert. Okay. Before we get into the meat of the pod, just want to thank all of our listeners, everybody who's tuning in. We appreciate you so much. I want to remind you to please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. And also, if you're looking to help us out, the best way you can help us out, I'm going to give you two things. First, share this podcast with your friends. Any Marvel friends you have, is a great time to share this podcast covering Secret Invasion. We're doing this for a few more weeks as the new episodes come out. And the second thing is, leave us a review, whether it's on Amazon. Well, Amazon, sure, probably, whatever. I was going to say Apple or Spotify, especially Apple, leaving us a 5-star review, super helpful. I don't really listen to podcasts on Spotify. I know you can leave reviews probably or hit the like button, thumbs up. Whatever it is, help us out, all right? Help you boys. We're
right.
trying to expand the Royal Kingdom here.
That's right.
Okay? On the Royal Geek Podcast. So, with all that in mind, spoiler alert, okay? Here's your warning. This is our review of episode number 2 of Secret Invasion, otherwise known as T-Roll's favorite Marvel show.
There you go.
This episode is called Promises. And I
Now, the
felt
real
like
question is, how many Marvel shows have you said are your favorite Marvel show after 2 episodes?
2. I definitely said it for Loki. And I
believe
definitely
you said for
it
Hawkeye.
I said it for Hawkeye.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I stand by the first 5 episodes of Hawkeye were great.
Yeah, they were.
And then just the finale just for me blew. But anyways,
We're getting closer and closer.
I mean, yeah. How'd you guys feel? Episode 2.
So good, man. It was a solid episode, and it's in my wheelhouse. I love this espionage, trying to just discover what the heck's going on.
the
government
intrigue,
corruption,
yes,
like
yes.
that kind of stuff. I'm all on board for that. And a good torture scene. You gotta love a good torture scene.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah. I mean,
Intel. Yeah,
I'm
all
not
that
like
stuff.
crazy about torture scenes, but I get what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of it answered some of the questions from episode 1, which was nice. Kind of fleshed out some of the things that were happening, going throughout, like the whole thing with Gravik, and the extent of the scrolls, and everything that's happened with that. So it did a good job of sort of fleshing out what had already happened with episode 1.
You mentioned Gravik. I think we needed to go ahead and pause here for a moment and just recognize that this guy is awesome. And I think we might have another top tier villain on our hands.
Careful.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yes.
If he continues on this path that he's on, I think we have a really good shot of him being pretty bad.
Early buy or sell. Ready? Early buy or sell.
Okay, go give it.
Ready, Shimada?
Okay.
Marvel will kill off Gravik in this series. Buy or sell.
Oh, 100% buy.
I'm gonna sell it. I think they know what they got. I think they know
Think
what they
so?
got. Yeah, I think he's a very good.
Because it makes you wonder, like, what else? I've always wondered about the big. We're going big picture here, okay? Scrolls, Secret Invasion. It's a massive storyline in the comics.
It's huge. Yeah, absolutely.
So and it feels like something that could continue to happen in the background. Or am I crazy?
I think this could make a really good transition to a big world movie problems. I think so.
It very well could, but I just get the feeling that Gravik is an entity that they're gonna kill off. Like maybe the whole idea of the scrolls and them being in the background will happen, but I think there is a distinct possibility that he will not make it to the end of this series.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have more time in a couple weeks to talk about big picture stuff. But I will say, I think, what do I think of Gravik? I mean, they're giving actual screen time to character development for a villain.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Let's think. Which shows have done that?
You mean most shows have showed the villain like in the last like 2 episodes or something like that?
So yeah, Marvel shows that have done this. Let's think. Let's start with WandaVision. Wait, who's the villain? Wanda? All right, WandaVision's a little different.
yeah.
Well, even like the secondary Agatha Harkness, you didn't
Yeah.
really know that she was the
Till
villain.
penultimate episode, maybe?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
2 to 4, maybe.
So yeah, even that would be relatively, and even the villain turn of the agent was kind of late in the process as well. So there's that with that.
Falcon Winter Soldier, total joke of a villain,
Yeah.
Yes.
Which was also later on in this.
which was Flag Smashers.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, what's his face? Good old boy. The new white
US
dude.
agent.
Yeah.
US agent. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, his development was. They gave him some screen time. He wasn't the best, but they put forth an effort.
Yeah.
Okay, what other shows are there? Help me.
Moon Knight.
Okay, Moon Knight. So Moon Knight actually, what was it? What's the guy's name? Ethan
Hawke.
Ethan Hawke.
From the jump, he was in the first.
From the jump,
scene,
they gave
yeah.
some screen time. They gave a little bit of development, but it also didn't it feel like. I mean, he was just a what do you call him? He was just a.
He was like the mini boss.
He was
in a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah,
ways.
yeah. He was like the yeah.
He was like a henchman.
Yeah.
Pretty
Well,
much.
what's the word I'm trying to use? What's the actual? He was a avatar, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Vessel, Avatar.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was for whoever the real villain was. So yeah, he was kind of like that wasn't completely fleshed out.
Oh,
You know.
Miss Marvel.
Stop. No, don't even say it.
The Glenda
Enjoy. God. Enjoyable show.
Yeah.
But too awful villain. Just spectrum's terrible.
Yeah.
She-Hulk also no real good villain development.
Yeah.
Hawkeye was.
I mean, you had like the tracksuit mafia, like,
Eh,
but that wasn't.
that
then
was-
you, but then you got Kingpin in the last.
Yeah,
2
the
episodes, I
tracksuit
think.
mafia was. They made them too comical for them to be a like
See.
the
Right.
villain.
Right. And here's the thing. Even if Kingpin, like, sure, it was really cool he was in it.
Yeah.
And they can certainly lean on the fact that a lot of viewers already know who he is. But it's another example of them waiting to the very end.
I know.
Yeah.
This is episode 2 where you get Gravik's origin story. And
Yep.
and on top of that, in episode 1, you got plenty of him in
Yes.
episode 1 too. Well, I shouldn't say plenty, but enough of him to make you ponder.
Yes, yes. You were definitely intrigued, and they basically almost immediately gave you at least a partial payoff, and everything that was happening with him. They started you started to learn about what the friction was between him and
Fury. Yeah.
Ed Fury and the base of their characters, and you get to kind of understand. I mean, literally, they did a great job of summing up everything that would make him not trust the system in like 2 lines. Like the woman that basically described his life story. Oh, his parents got killed. He piloted a plane. We might have somebody who's really cool right here. Is basically what she said. And immediately you know that archetype, that type of character that you're talking about, someone who is not going to stand back and
He's a survivalist. Like he'll
Yeah.
do whatever it takes to survive.
and he's not going to stand back and he's not going to just be like, okay, well, we'll wait for you to do things in your timetable.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and then he also drops the line later, like his parents, they died at like a noble death, and then like the fact that he viewed it as that, like they were fighting a war against the Kree, so it meant that like they were proud in what they did, and he was proud in what they did, so therefore that translates over to the whole. We're not waiting on you because I'm a pride in my scroll, right? And he just goes out. And
It does
takes
make
over.
him feel like it does kind of set his mindset to where he's like, the idea of dying for a good cause is something that he is very much vibing with,
Yeah. So it's like this episode starts with his origin story back in 1997.
Yeah.
So this is 2 years after Captain Marvel,
Yes.
and it's clear like they have yet to find a home for the Skrulls.
Yeah.
And then Fury has these lines where he says, "If you promise to help
Protect
help
home,
help protect my home, me and Captain Marvel promise to find you a new one." Well, He didn't do that.
Yeah. Nope.
Now, you might say, look, what do you expect Nick Fury to do? That's fair. There's probably more. It definitely falls more on Captain Marvel
I
in
think
terms
so.
of not
Yeah.
finding a home.
Yes, like
But-
what is she like up until the the end of the Avengers, like Endgame and Infinity War? What was she doing?
Yeah.
Like what was she doing for 15 years?
Yeah, they're going to have to explain that in the Marvels because clearly Fury's in that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Do we know if that happens before this or after this?
Not yet. No.
yeah.
We'll know.
I
closer to
feel
the
like a
movie.
lot of the things that are going to happen in this are going to kind of decide that.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. to
Okay,
see.
well, so clearly Fury doesn't come through in his promise, and the big problem is again like Skrull years they age differently. So I don't think the Skrulls are. I don't think it's more of a it's been 30 Earth years. We're mad. I think the big thing with the Skrulls is they felt abandoned by Fury. He
Yes,
just
yeah.
left.
Yeah, it's very that is a. I think that is the real thing.
Yeah.
Is that there was a lack of communication for an extended period of time. It's kind of like when you're at the grocery store, you're at a restaurant, and the service is running slow. There's a huge difference if your waiter is coming around every couple of minutes and being like, making sure your drinks are full, making sure being like, okay, it's gonna be just a little bit longer. It's just real busy. Your food will be out real quick. Then you never seeing your server and them just being in the back, like you have no idea what's going on.
Right.
Which is kind of how I feel like the Skrulls kind of feel. So they just kind of like they don't know, they're not being kept up to date. And I'm sure on top of that, with the whole fact of them agreeing to help the humans, I bet you there has been a significant amount of Skrull blood spilt for
Fury.
Very good
the
point.
Fury purpose,
Yeah.
without anything on the other side coming back.
Yeah. Again, it can't be. I don't get the sense that they're upset that they don't have a home. They just. I mean, I think Gravik's deal is that Fury didn't keep his promise, and he even actually
Yes.
said that in the council meeting,
Yep.
which I want to talk about, but not yet because I have some critical
Yes.
things about the council meeting. But while I'm staying in the positive about Gravik, Fury abandoned everyone. He abandoned Hill.
Yes.
He abandoned Talos.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he abandoned his wife. We'll talk about
Yeah,
that later,
yeah.
too.
Right.
He abandoned Gravik and all the other Skrulls. And it almost feels like, and I love that they're doing this, Fury won't admit it.
Yeah.
But he is...
He's stubborn. Yeah.
He's stubborn. And he's still, like he said to Rhodey, I'm Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he could still do some stuff.
Even when he's out, he's
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, even when I'm out of him. But he has definitely been impacted psychologically by the snap.
Yeah, I think that's part of it is he doesn't want to necessarily admit that there's something has changed, like that he is not 100% there, even though he's still very much Nick Fury. There's something about him that has changed, some reasoning that has happened, something that isn't quite right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the conversation that he has with Talos in the train.
Train.
Okay.
Right.
So
Great scene,
yeah,
by the way.
phenomenal
Yeah.
scene. Especially the way it starts too. We're like, we're looking for an American. Like,
Yeah.
is he in there? Nope.
Yeah.
Sorry, not in
And
here.
like and Samuel Jackson shows off his he's just doing his thing.
yeah.
And even Talos' reaction, to Fury was
yeah.
great.
But
But
the,
yeah, it was a
the
great scene.
conversation that they have though, it's like you got blipped when you came back. You were not the same person, and you left us again. Like you were already gone for 5 years,
Right.
And then you go ahead and leave us again to space. Like the emotion is portrayed great there by Ben Mendelsohn.
Yes,
and,
I agree.
Nick Fury getting angry, like
Yeah, it's like I get why he's upset. Like he feels like Talos didn't he's upset that he called every Skrull to Earth.
oh yeah, how many? A
million,
God,
Right? So I get
Yeah.
why he's upset, but also like
What do you expect,
it's,
right?
Well,
You-
it's like
They found a safe place,
well, my thing it's not even that. It's like just in this scene alone, it's like Fury can't admit his fault.
Yeah,
He won't admit his fault. He didn't admit it to Hill, right? When they were playing chess.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember episode 1. I don't think he did.
No.
Like he's taken everybody's comments. I mean, he wouldn't admit fault to Rhodey. He wouldn't admit fault to Hill. He wouldn't admit fault to Talos. I mean,
Yep.
he's a little stubborn.
Yeah. Well, and on top of that, like he has this idea in himself, like that he has his finger to the pulse of everything. Well, if you really had your finger to the pulse, how do you miss 1,000,000 scrolls being on your planet without you having any idea?
Yeah.
Like, and you are about as close to the scrolls as any human. You're
Yeah, you are.
You are as close
You
to
are.
any scroll has ever been in a real, like, actionable way.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. And
Yeah.
like, and the kind of the story he tells on the train with like the fried chicken, right? And how
story.
yeah, I know, it was a
Yes.
great story. And like the moral of the story is like you could tell, like his mom could tell by just what he said that it wasn't the full story, like it wasn't the truth. And then
Yes.
he transitions that to Talos and like there's something you're not telling me. That whole thing,
Yeah.
like the putting the friction between their relationship right there. I don't know. I kind of think that Talos might have given up hope as well, and like maybe he not necessarily like is to the level of Gravik, but like he might be ready to like.
I know it makes me wonder the dance that's happening here because Talos and there's a clear divide now between Talos and Fury.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's going to always be there. Like it could certainly be.
Yeah, friends fight sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah. But I mean, Fury seems to be burning his bridges, bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's burning them with the U.S. government. He's burning them with
Very much so.
scrolls. I
Which
mean,
I have thoughts about the conversation with Rhodey. Like, I don't know if you want to
well,
go
not
there.
yet, not yet.
Okay.
What were you gonna say, Mata?
I mean, what if they're, Talos is playing both sides in a way, and he put Gaia in to be right there with Gravik to where he can.
But she clearly like screwed him over.
I mean, yes.
What do you mean, Gravik? When she
No, Gaia, like
Yeah.
she was feeding information to Talos, and then information ended up being wrong. and
But
then-
what it? I mean, okay. So, but what I'm saying is, how much of that information, like, what maybe he planted? She's in there as sort of a double agent for her father, and she gave actionable information to her father that she could pass on to Fury that would look like legitimate information, but was actually not good information.
Yeah, there's gonna be twists and turns in the series already.
I
think
can't
it's
figure
gonna
out
be-
Gaia.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to go. Either. All right. Again, this is what I love about this show. We had dinner earlier, and you said you interrupted me, Amato, and I was like, man, I love this show. You want to know why? And you said no superheroes. That's the first thing. It's so grounded, even
Yes.
though even though it's about shape shifting aliens.
Right.
It's also really grounded.
Yeah.
So it just feels the stakes are there, and like Fury is complex. He's always been complex, but because he's always been in the history of the MCU, he's been in the background and he's always 10 steps ahead.
Yeah.
and he's
He's
no longer
all-knowing.
He's all-knowing.
He's always had that kind of role
Yeah,
in
like
the universe.
he caught Hydra
yes.
in Winter Soldier, right?
Yeah.
And he knew that was coming.
Which they mentioned Pierce in this episode too.
They did.
Yes.
And no one else can do something like that. But in this show, he's really behind. And then you have complex villain. You have Talos, who he's probably the simplest one to understand, I think. But his daughter, Gaia, is like she clearly. I mean, okay, so when they go in to save Brogdon, whatever his name
It's
is,
Brogan, I think.
Brogan. Okay, let's just say it's Brogan. It might not be, but let's just say it is. They go in to save him, and she gets out of the car. She leaves that other scroll in the car, and she clearly calls in an anonymous tip about the safe house.
Yeah.
because she knew that Brogan was getting interrogated, and it would lead Gravik to believe that he spilled the beans on that.
Yeah.
Although I think Gravik
Knows.
maybe not knows, but I think he's not sure because I think he can tell that old boy spilled the beans, but I think he's also when he looks over at Gaia and she's crying in the driver's seat. I just have a feeling that he's got a sense of her deception.
Yeah. Well, and he also caught her on the computer too. And that was-
Exactly, that
was-
too.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah. I feel like she's at that point to where she's on the cusp of entering like the inner circle for Gravik, but he's still not.
He's weary.
She's
yeah.
not 100% there yet.
It's almost like she's sorry. You go.
Go ahead. You go.
It's almost like she's trying to usurp that right hand man role. She's trying to get
yeah,
in on
yeah.
whatever that dude's name is, Pagan or Pagan or
I don't know.
Hold on, let me look.
freaking names. We're never good with names, man.
No, we are the worst.
Yeah. Pagon. How would you say that? Pagan?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like a wagon, but
Pagan.
Pagan.
Let's do Pagan. I like that.
No,
better.
it's not Pagan. There's no way it's Pagan. Sounds like a Pokemon. No, it's Pagan. It's got to be. But anyways, it seems to me that she is. I'm not saying. Yeah, I mean, because she.
I feel like she has like an aggressive, like upward mobility type of feel to herself that she is trying to move up quicker than maybe someone like Gravik is necessarily comfortable with. Like she's trying to earn this position and like move into this position of power, and Gravik doesn't necessarily have like he's like kind of like, whoa, hold up a little bit there.
I do think that Gaia's character development is going to either make or break the show. Like, I really, truly do, because if it's not believable about if she is a double, triple, quadruple agent,
Whatever
if,
she is,
yeah,
yeah.
whatever. If it is not believable when that time comes, like I feel like it could be detrimental to the storyline.
That doesn't make me feel too good.
I know, yeah. And
I feel like, to tell you the truth, something
I
I've
think
been
she's gonna get
thinking
caught.
something that I've been thinking about was I feel like Emilia Clarke is a little bit out of her depth at the moment
I was thinking that. Trust me, I was thinking that. I was
Wait,
thinking.
what do you mean? What do you mean?
as an actress. I feel like so far she has not exactly hit the way that her character should if she's going to be that pivotal to the storyline.
Which
Yeah.
I have a feeling the fact that they cast her in the first place, because Emilia Clarke, I mean, obviously Game of Thrones was like the biggest
Yeah.
show in the world until it wasn't. I feel like casting her in that role, you are going to have a pivotal moment with this character.
Yeah, something's
And-
gotta be there.
And if she falls flat, which as of right now, she's steady. She's steady right now, but there's the makings of what if she fails? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm uncertain about
But
her
I'm uncertain
character.
of what failing even is for her, because again, I it seems like
Well, just making it believable. Like if
No,
you're
I
gonna
get
be
it,
a
but,
double
like-
agent or triple agent, like it's gonna be.
I could see something where, like she does. I could see something where she's like, she doesn't agree with the way Gravik's doing things, but she agrees with Gravik.
The cause.
She's with the cause, but not the
means.
Yeah. Like I don't think she wants to bomb people,
Yeah.
but I don't think I think she's also over Fury and
Yeah. And I think part of it,
humans.
it's one of those situations. I feel like anyone who's with Gravik in that point, it's very much like you're in.
Yeah.
Like there is no stepping out without like being in a body bag type of situation.
I was trying to gauge her reaction to when Gravik said, "I could have killed Fury." I was trying to gauge and see like, was she against it for it or whatever? But she played it pretty clean.
I like
yeah.
I like that scene too. Again, every scene that Gravik's in, he commands attention. Okay,
Yes.
let's talk about this council. Or did you want to say something before that?
I have the council is a very interesting scene to me.
Yes,
so
yes, it
yes,
is.
bring it on.
Okay,
First of all, it has like one of my favorite. It has an incredibly intriguing line to me in it.
we'll drop it.
Okay, so the one member who does not submit, she very like clearly when she's like basically saying, "You guys are kind of going at this like war is the only option," and she says, "We got into this situation not because we were unwilling to go to war, but because we were too willing to go to
willing,
war."
yeah.
Which is an incredibly intriguing idea to me, because everything that has been shown so far in the Marvel universe is that the Skrulls are, for the most part, have been
Victims.
the victims. They've been the victims. They've been the more submissive race. The Krees have been the aggressor in this.
like the
Everything
colonizer,
has
if you will.
gone. Yes. So what's happened in their history?
Well, Fury even tries to get those answers from Talos
Yes.
on the train. He's like,
Yeah,
"What are you
tell me
not telling?"
something.
Yeah, I don't
Yes.
know. Yeah, there you
And
go.
then he
Like-
says, "You know everything."
Yeah.
The name
So
of the game.
that led me to start thinking. I was like,
Yeah.
maybe we don't know everything. And in the comic books, the Skrulls are not as.
Oh no, they're
Yeah.
No.
So
They're-
I'm like, well, maybe they started the stuff,
Yeah,
but they couldn't
maybe
finish it.
Yes,
Like
maybe that's
that
it.
kind of thing.
And then what also makes you think, okay, so if there were a million Skrulls left, maybe they were not you would think, oh, well, those are the refugees. Those are the people who were able to
Big
get
number
out.
for a refugee.
Maybe they weren't the weaker
aggressor.
Skrulls. Maybe they were the more aggressive, the more, and they've been just kind of playing this role
Survival
of,
instincts.
this survival role but they're actually a significantly more
Yeah.
warrior breed of Skrull in a way.
Yeah. And
Yeah, that's interesting. That was an intriguing line to me too. But I didn't take it that far, but it was a very intriguing line.
the players of the council and the positions that they held.
Yes.
So we have like the UK Prime Minister, right?
Yes,
That's,
UK Prime Minister.
We have the lead news anchor.
Yeah, like
from
right?
like from like a Fox equivalent.
Yes.
Yeah, which
Yes.
is McGavin, right?
Yes.
Shooter
Yeah.
McGavin.
Shooter McGavin.
You had
and
like a
then-
head of NATO or something.
Yes.
And just those three alone, like I mean,
lot of power.
That's a lot of power,
Yes.
but they are also like fueling their own story. Like,
Yes.
which we saw from the news clip where we had the anchor Shooter McGavin, which he's gonna be called that from now on. But anyway, he's feeding the news, but then like he's building up what the prime minister's saying. Like they're
right.
helping each other get the cause across.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He literally called what happened a false flag, which was actually true. It was a false flag.
It was a false flag for sure.
But it's also interesting because it was a false flag, but it was literally done by his
Him.
own
Yeah, his
like
cause, yeah.
Although
His
I know
cause.
Gravik,
Although, yeah.
it's not
Pledge allegiance,
exactly
so, yeah.
the same thing.
that
but
time when yeah.
But they made it sound like it was a coup. So like it made it sound like everybody was kind of in on it except for the lady who wouldn't turn. Like
Yeah, but they weren't. Really, the only person who was in on it was the UK Prime Minister.
Yeah. Okay.
And so,
Yeah.
okay,
I felt like the council fell too quickly and
Yes.
too easily
Yes.
for the type of people they were
Yes.
supposed to be.
yes, I think
Literally, they just karate chop somebody, and he's like, "Oh,
we won't be.
we won't be.
Yeah, he won't be acting up anymore. All right, I'm gonna shout out Gibbs here, our boy Ryan.
oh.
Ryan's rants. He's loved the show so far.
Okay.
And we haven't talked much, but hopefully he's listening. Gibbs, if you're listening, you better be listening. But he made a comment of why is it just so that everyone is so easily following him? Here's my big theory. You ready for it?
Go for it, man.
There's only 6 episodes. So it's like, I just don't think Marvel wanted to spend the time. I think it was just a timing decision
Okay.
where they didn't want to spend the time showing the council being won over.
what if?
You know?
What if he is a prince? Like
Okay.
what maybe he maybe the political structure of the Skrulls is royalty.
Scrolls.
Skrulls, sorry.
I was like, wait, what? Is this a
Sorry.
new thing?
Anyway,
Yeah.
and he is when he was presented, as we said, the Skrulls aren't saying everything to Fury.
Yeah. That's what it
And
is.
what if his parents were killed and they were the original rulers of the Skrull Empire, and he is technically next in line? And there's
Okay.
there is a like innate like lineage that is being built there on top of his obvious like charisma and willingness to inflict
Leadership.
pain.
Yeah. Okay. 2 things. One, no offense, I don't think so. But I will say if that is true, something that gives some credibility to that theory is Talos drops the name of the Emperor of Skrullos or whatever, and I can't remember his name. But there clearly is like a royalty
Yeah, there's a-
structure
Yeah.
in Skrullos, R.I.P. You know what I'm saying? But in the Skrull society, so it could be. But I just think that pragmatically, Marvel was like, we're gonna make
Let's move along here.
yeah, like sure we could have some internal things happen, and one by one we see the council members being won over through different means. But I just think that Marvel didn't want to
Yeah.
spend the time doing it.
And that may not be the point of the series. Like I mean, it's
Yeah.
going to come down to
This is-
Fury on his and everything on his end. Like,
This is an example where if this was a movie, it might be a minor plot point where you forget by the time the movie's over.
True.
Because 40 more cool things happen. But since we have a week in between episodes, we're going to nitpick over everything.
Right.
But in fairness, to Gibbs' point, I agree. Like, it was like, all right, you're all going to be on this. Like, I was thinking like half of them are, half of them aren't, and now they have to have another meeting in 2 episodes. But again, I just think pragmatically they weren't going to spend time on it.
I think if you're doing like a coup type style, like there is no second meeting. Like you won't make it to the second meeting. It's same as like Gravik would probably get somebody killed by then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
See, but at least I feel like there was just like an imbalance of the level of violence to the amount of power that was actually being shifted.
Right.
In my mind.
Right. One guy
Like,
gets karate chopped in the throat.
just
and
gets karate chopped, and then everyone's in line. Now,
Yeah.
if he had just like pulled out a gun and shot him in the head, I would have been like, okay, that has enough shock factor to be like, oh, Gravik this is a hostile takeover, literally.
Yeah.
Where I just feel like the karate chop was just a little bit too like Disney PG.
Well,
like
he clearly has a reputation for being a quote unquote like bad boy, right? Like because
Yeah.
when he comes in, like, oh, I wasn't
just killed
invited.
2,000 people.
Well, yeah, and he killed 2,000 people. He wasn't invited, and
and
so
he does drop
may-
the line for Gaia, shoot this guy in the head.
Yes.
In the head.
that
Yes.
line
Yes.
was the best line I have seen in a Marvel show, maybe ever.
Yeah.
Just even watching him, if he says, "If I'm not out in an hour," and he puts his finger
Fingers
to the
to his
dude's
skull.
forehead, that was such a badass line.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
But clearly, he has that violence
Right,
background.
right.
So maybe the karate chop was just this is the beginning. I'm being merciful.
You know what's
kind of
so
thing.
interesting though, and this is the stuff and this is why I hope that Gravik stays around for a long time and goes more into the shadows, which would be great. Is he's violent, he's a bad boy, but the one council member that doesn't submit, he lets her leave
Yeah, unharmed.
unharmed. Now again, maybe we come back in 2 episodes
yeah,
and she's
yeah.
dead,
For sure.
Yeah.
but I don't know, maybe not for sure.
But I feel like it's more like he let her go because he knows that she is the trail.
in cahoots to get Taylor,
Like she could be like because of the way that she was either Talos or to get Fury or to get some sort of underhanded part of the scroll involvement. You know,
Maybe so. Well, again, there'll be more to come for that.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that just thinks Gravik seems like he's got it all together. He's quicker than Fury.
yeah.
He doesn't need, and he called Talos an old failing general.
Yeah.
I don't like the way they're painting Gravik. It doesn't seem like he even needs to be concerned with Fury or Talos. That like they're making him feel like such a badass that it doesn't feel like he needs to worry about them. So I almost hope that he doesn't worry about them. It almost would weaken his stature in my mind.
Don't be surprised if they actually keep it going and they don't. He doesn't worry about him. Like I feel like he can power through that and
I hope
make
so.
a statement.
I really do. I hope so.
Yeah. So good, man.
Okay, but there's
he's good.
All right. So we've been going for a while, but there's
Yeah.
still
Rhodey
more.
and Rhodey.
Okay, let's talk
and
about
Nick
Rhodey.
Fury.
But then we got to come back to something else with the scrolls. Well, let's talk about Rhodey and Fury.
Okay. Well, Rhodey, just out of a kindness or whatever he said, like compassion, right? Or what is
He
it?
said, I can't remember. He said he volunteered to be there. I
Yeah,
remember
or
that.
courtey or something like that. He volunteered to
Yeah.
show up instead of the president.
Yeah,
because he doesn't
yeah.
come when he's summoned. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that whole courtroom scene was funny just because he was so nonchalant about. I'm not willing to take Russian surveillance at face value. I
He
gotta
said it.
Take it back
Yeah.
to Langley for, yeah. But then he meets Fury and the
Yeah.
conversation. that they
Another great
have.
scene.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
scene is great.
So many good scenes in
and
this
and the way it's shot too. It's a lot of close-ups, and you
I
really
felt like
get
you were
to
at the table.
Yes, you're sitting at the other seat at
Yeah.
the table.
Yeah.
And just Fury trying to get a bone. Like it really did feel that way, didn't it? Like he was just like he literally says, "Hook a brother up." Like
Mm-hmm, Yeah, he's like, I need help.
yeah. Which do you think that was intentionally done by Fury, like to divide them because he feels like if Rhodey gets any closer, or if the U.S. government's getting closer, then the Skrulls will infiltrate the government or something like that. Like I don't know. I feel like he was trying to. Maybe it was too intentional.
You talking about when Rhodey references the Avengers,
Yes,
and he's
Yeah,
like, no, we
stay
don't need
out.
them
Yeah,
anywhere
yeah.
near this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like part of it is Fury felt like maybe the government owed him more than
Well,
he
he
was.
definitely shows that. Like
Yeah.
when he's up in his face, like
Yeah.
literally in his face.
Yeah. And I felt like I kind of wish Rhodey didn't know that his team was Skrulls, like his security team, because I felt like that would have been a nice little like, you do know your security team is undercover agents basically inside of the United States government. I felt like that would have been a cooler scene if he didn't know, but I also feel like that was part of what I feel like Fury was hoping that would hit harder.
Wait, are you suggesting that? I mean, they didn't make it clear whether his
I didn't pick up on that.
agents or Skrulls.
What made
or
you
not.
pick up on that?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he.
I think Fury was alluding to it,
like it could be a thing.
but I don't think he did. Did he confirm it?
I feel like with the way,
confirmed that he knew about Skrulls from a mission that he did back.
but
in
I
the
feel
day.
like the way that went back and forth, that they were saying that Rhodey was saying, yes, I know that they're there, and it doesn't bother me more than anything else.
I think I picked up on that. Like he knew that they were
Exist.
Yeah, they
Not that they're
yeah.
in his squad.
His squad. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'll gladly watch that scene again after
Yeah.
this pod, but I feel like. Yes, Fury wanted that to make a statement, that remark, but because Rhodey knew about the one mission, or he got to watch along, or whatever he called it,
Yeah.
where he saw the green people, or whatever they called them, he saw them, and that he was acknowledging that they do exist, period, and not exist within his body.
Yeah, I didn't
That's
get
what I
that
got.
sense either. But
Yeah.
because I do wonder, like Fury would have the best ability of anyone on planet Earth, any human, to recognize if someone's a Skrull.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he has like any like sort of tech that. Like I wonder about his glasses. He's not always wearing his glasses. Sometimes he is. You know, like I wonder if there's, which I keep coming back to. And I don't know if I said this last week, but like. Oh, never mind. I'll come back to the end. Just remind me about the glasses later.
Okay, I'll try.
Look, Amato, you keep going. You keep going.
But yeah, I just felt like if the way that he was saying it was making it seem like he was trying to, make that point, and that they'd already. But Fury's point was that they had already infiltrated. Is kind of like, I think, was what he was getting at. He was trying to say that they're already here. They're already a part of, our government. They've already made moves inside the government. Whereas I feel like.
It literally says the invasion started already.
Yes.
Right.
Which, and I feel like he was getting at that with his security team. He was trying to say that his security team was a part of that.
But I want to know. They haven't explained how Fury would know that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay,
and
so
Fury also humiliated one of them, and they're clearly stronger than him.
yes,
So that
Yeah.
shouldn't have happened if that guy was a Skrull.
yes, that is true. But it's also possible he was trying to stay on.
Undercover.
Yes, and then he was there. I think it's also very possible that Fury may have put him there. Like, what if, what?
Fury.
That's also true. That
Like-
could be
like-
true.
like if
those are
he-
his Skrulls.
Like he had, well, not that it was necessarily his Skrulls, but like I mean, just over time, he had found positions to start feeding them into it to help protect, certain members of government, and be a part of that. You know, so why not put superpowered, shape-shifting aliens in those type of positions?
Yeah.
So that's kind of just what I was kind of getting
And
at. Is that
Fury knows about the council because Talos mentions it in episode 1, so he knows that there's a council of super powerful people
Yep.
that are Skrulls. So, yeah, I don't know. Well, either way, this scene with Fury and Rhodey was awesome.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. We've had a few
Powerful,
moments.
yeah.
Well,
Had
we
great
didn't even talk
moments.
about the torture scene.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. Talk about the torture scene.
Well, Olivia Colman's character. Which
yeah.
I don't even know. I forgot her name.
Yeah, I just looked it up.
Yeah.
Hold
But
on.
she has this like swagger to her.
Yes, Sonya Fallsworth.
Yeah.
That's right.
So when she walks into the butcher shop or whatever it was, and she's like, "You're who are you?" You're like, "I'm out of your pay grade." Like, where is he? And then they go back there.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so amazing a line from her.
Yeah, she crushed it, man. And
Yes.
she rips his finger off. She's like, okay, well now that that's confirmed.
Yes. Oh my god! And then the shot he gave him, and he was like boiling inside. Her
Yeah.
blood was boiling.
Yes.
Yeah, that was ugh.
That's great.
But she's trying to get at, and this will transition to the scientists,
Okay,
right? So
great.
she's trying to get some information on the scientists that are in Gravik's group.
Yeah.
Which we see that Gaia finds these people when she's tailing
yes,
Pagan.
Yeah.
That's gotta be his name. But anyways, dude, let's talk about these freaking scientists. So I don't know who they are. Well, they're Skrulls. Well, I'm sure they're Skrulls.
yeah, they're probably Skrulls.
They've got to be Skrulls, right?
I would assume so.
But they're also brilliant scientists.
Yes.
and they are working on. What do you guys think they're working on?
I mean, it made me believe that it was genetic modification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like what they were trying to do is they were trying to take a whole bunch of superpowers, kind of mix them up, and then basically give them to someone.
Now, there are scrolls in the comics that have the ability to copy like actual superpowered superheroes. So maybe this is them trying to
Incorporate that. Like,
genetically enhance some of their own scrolls.
Yeah.
which, I mean, there's a whole plethora of heroes in the universe that's already been introduced that they have powers and abilities, so why not transition that over to developing it in scrolls for the scrolls?
Yeah, because
So-
like if a scroll copies Rhodey, his power is in his suit. Same with Stark.
Yeah.
Even though he's dead, rest in peace. But if a scroll copies, we talked about this last week, copies Bruce Banner, that scroll can't just become the Hulk,
Right.
unless he's somehow, I guess, enhanced. So I'm thinking that's what they're working on.
Yeah.
And they even showed on the computer, Gaia finds that they've got.
I think it was Groot was there.
So there's like DNA of Groot,
Extremis was
some
there
Extremis,
for sure.
Yep.
Um,
Obsidian. What's his name?
Oh, Obsidian Black.
but Black Obsidian, yeah.
Was that right?
Yeah. One of the Thanos' guards.
Yeah, that one.
Yes.
Is that his name? Okay.
I didn't get the full page. I know there was
And then a frost giant.
there was like maybe
It
5.
was 4. I know
Yeah,
it was
okay.
4. I can't remember. Whatever. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was one of
so-
Thanos' dudes, the big guy.
Yeah. So the abilities are there. I mean, like Groot's abilities, and like, so we're gonna see these pop up, and I think that's just they're gonna give them to the scrolls because why not? They're shapeshifters, right? So
Yeah.
they're theoretically their DNA can whatever they decide to do the powers they can conform to that, and therefore
But
be
not
able to
without
use it.
whatever this harvest
correct.
is. Which
Whatever
we
this
don't know
is.
what that is.
So there's obviously steps to get there, and these scientists are the ones that are going to get them there. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be. I don't know. I like where this is going. I do.
Yes.
Okay, early buy or sell. Is Sonya buy or sell? Sonya is actually a scroll.
What are you talking about?
Sonya Fallsworth, Olivia's character.
Oh,
I'll sell that one.
so
Okay.
I feel like the way that she acted towards that scroll was not that was not how a scroll would act towards another scroll, in my mind.
yeah.
Unless she's just like Gravik.
I don't know. I feel like
Okay, I just
feel-
read some fun
yeah.
theories, but that's okay.
I'm gonna say.
I mean,
so.
it'll be interesting. I feel like
Yeah.
I think if they do end up with genetic modification, there's a decent chance Gaia ends up with something.
yeah, and Fury's wife's a scroll, right? Like that's
Clearly, because she
Yeah.
was cutting.
She was stuff
cucumbers
as
or
a
something.
scroll. I think the real question is,
Does he know?
does he know? I think legitimately.
Yeah.
Like I think because you think about it. So she's cutting stuff up. Someone comes in, she switches into her human form. Now it could just be because that's the way
Now-
they're most comfortable with each other.
Right.
But it could also be
She's playing them.
she either playing or it's just
Here's why I
Yeah.
think that's clearly the scroll woman that introduces Gravik and Fury
Yeah.
at the beginning of the episode.
yes.
So it's clearly one of the OG scrolls for Fury,
Mm-hmm.
which makes me believe that he knows.
Yeah. Which is it's a distinct possibility, but it also adds another layer to the whole Gravik relationship. Is the way he feels about Fury, and he knows that Fury has this relationship with this other scroll.
Yeah.
And what happened there? Was it a I don't know. Maybe part of it is he has daddy issues.
Yeah.
What if
Yeah.
what if
True.
this person who brought him in is kind of this mother figure, and Nick Fury kind of took over that father
Swooped
figure,
in.
and it
Yeah.
was good for a while, and then Fury started becoming distant, and Gravik started becoming a little bit older and more aware of what was going on, and then he maybe part of it's he just he finally saw Nick Fury for who he is instead of the father that he and maybe initially thought he was.
Yeah,
in
maybe
a
so.
way.
Yeah, good point.
All right, we need to wrap this up, but we're going to wrap it up like we do with every episode reviewing Secret Invasion, where we have a segment of the show where we make a case for why some of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters are going to be a part of this show. So that's where we're going to finish,
Here
like
we
we will
go.
every
Yep.
week. What do you guys have to bring to the table
Oh man,
Extremis was in season 1.
of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yes.
Was it? Season 1. I can't
Yes,
remember where it
it
fell.
was the very beginning. Like one of the first people they're up against is someone who has been affected by
Huh.
extremis.
Okay.
So there's part 1.
I can't remember if I said this. I might have. If I said this last week, forgive me for sounding like a broken record. But first of all, once again, Fury's now lost Talos.
Here we go.
He literally has nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's lost Rhodey. Mm-hmm. He's lost the U.S. government,
Maria Hill.
Maria Hill.
Yep.
Unless Captain Marvel's going to show up in this thing.
They did a Coulson name
Wow.
drop this week.
Did they?
Yeah. When they dropped back to 95 flashback, they mentioned Coulson.
Okay,
Yeah.
dude.
I know.
Because isn't when they flash back to they show him in the car, the dead scroll
Is
is
Coulson.
yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Coulson fake,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
So they could easily bring them in. And I still think that Fitz is the guy. I said, remember I said the glasses?
Yep.
I don't know if Fury's glasses at all allow him to pick up on who's in the room or not.
Yeah.
But here's how you do it. He goes to S.H.I.E.L.D. He's getting some help. He goes to Mac or Coulson, whoever's around.
Yeah.
You know, probably Daisy and Daisy only. But let's just assume the whole crew's there. Fitz makes a comment about Fury's glasses because they clearly do something in my mind because he's sometimes wearing them, sometimes not.
Yeah.
But then he says, hey, I can make you some better glasses. And he makes him some legit glasses that when he puts them on can detect if someone's a Skrull.
That would
if
be
there's
great.
anybody in the Marvel universe that could do that,
Yeah.
it would be
Fitz, yeah.
Fitz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Stark if he was still around. But that's it. That's it.
Man, I wish. I really want
So
that to happen.
that's how we're going to end the show.
I really wish that happens.
Yeah. It's probably wild speculation and dreaming at this point, but it's worth
I'm
ending the
leaning
show
more
on.
and more towards Mac actually making an appearance.
God, if I get the shotgun axe,
Give
that'd
us
be
the
phenomenal.
shotgun axe.
Give us the shotgun axe, man. I want to see him take out like not like Gravik, but like Pagan. Pagan.
Yeah.
With a shotgun axe.
Yeah.
All right. That's it, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been a fun review. Great show so far. Please, Marvel, do not blow this one.
Episode 6 is all down
I
the
know,
toilet.
it's-
Let's just do that
dude.
review right now.
Oh.
It sucked.
I know they do let us down a lot
Yeah.
at the end, but great review. Big shout out to everybody who stuck around for the whole time. We know this was a longer pod, so thank you so much. Please share this podcast with your friends. Hit the subscribe button wherever you're listening. Follow us on social media at Royal Geek Pod, and please come back next week for our review of episode number 3. With all that in mind, for my good friends Sandy and Shamato, this is T-Roll saying thank you so much for listening to the Royal Geek Podcast. We will see you next time, you peasants.